Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Nerdpocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. There is plenty to talk about this week, so let's jump right into it. There is a review of the Batman up on our YouTube channel and in the Coming Distractions feed, but there's also now a spoiler review of the Batman as well in both of those same places. So check that out if you've already seen the Batman and you don't mind having the details spoiled for you. Next up, I watched one episode of Guardians of Justice.
Oh, it's a TV show? Oh, there's no way I'm watching this.
Yeah. I don't recommend it. Again, I watched one episode of it, and that was enough for me. Look, I get it. The superhero genre is ripe with tons of material, both, things based on comics from Marvel, DC, Valiant, whatever, right? Graphic novels, independent ones, all that. It's awesome. I love the genre. I think it's really fun. I've reading comic books and stuff like that since I was a kid. It's all great. I am, however, not so in love with the genre that I will accept anything. No. And this, I would mark it as anything, because this feels like a piece of shit that someone threw together and thought, hey, I can make a buck off of this by doing like 9 minutes worth of real work. Guardians of Justice is done by Adi Shankar, who I am not much of a fan of his work. I like some of his work. I don't like any of his bootleg universe shit. None of it. Wholesale, I don't care for any of it. He did do Dread.
That's the name of it. I thought you were just like shit like that. It's the name is bootleg universe. Wow.
Yeah, that's what he calls his, like, he's got this like these like one shot things that he does, right? Some of these you would recognize, right? Punisher Dirty Laundry. Do you remember that, where they got Thomas Jane to come back in that one video they did?
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, people were really gassed up about that. It wasn't good, in my opinion. I thought it was not very good. Power/Rangers, that was a thing that people were really gassed up about.
I did see that.
Again, it was fine. I wasn't blown away by it. It felt overly edgy and violent for no reason. Then he did something that I thought was really terrible. Venom, Truth, and Journalism. I had forgotten about that until I read his Wikipedia. I had totally forgotten about that. But yeah, that's like 17 minutes of a waste of time, in my opinion. Again, not a huge fan of it. He did do Dread. He was the executive producer on Dread, which I love. Right? He did do. I think he was a producer on The Gray, which was that movie with Liam Neeson where he's like fighting wolves. It's not a bad movie, actually. Like it's surprisingly not a bad movie. Those are the two things he's done that I like. Everything else, it's not even a take it or leave it. Just leave it. Like I don't want anything from him. This falls into that same category. Not a fan. The premise is, it is a Justice League sort of commentary, right? Where you have like a Justice League sort of team, and then there's like, it starts out with like their Superman analog, and their Superman analog, this universe, kills himself with a kryptonite bullet. It calls something else, but it's a kryptonite bullet. He shoots himself on TV, which is really cool that Superman, a hero for kids, would do. He wouldn't just kill himself, but he would murder himself on national television in front of billions of people. Cool, whatever. And I'm not a prude, so I don't care about the violence of it. I just think that's just a little silly. But he kills himself. But then his wife, played by Christmas Jones,
Shut up, yo.
Denise Richards.
All right,
Yes.
hold on. I gotta look at this Wikipedia, yo. Who was in this?
Yeah. Look, I'm about to tell you who was in it, and it's a little insane. She goes on TV, or she like does some interview with like, some guy, and he's like, oh, I can't believe, Superman killed himself or whatever, Miracle Man or whatever his name is. And she's like, he didn't kill himself. He would never commit suicide. He was murdered. Dun, 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 dun. Even though we watched him kill himself, but obviously he's maybe under my control or something. I don't know. But then it cuts to, their Batman analog summoning the rest of their Justice League analog, saying like, we need to figure out who really killed the Superman analog. And the Batman of this universe, Nighthawk, I believe his name is played by none other than Diamond Dallas Page. That was enough for me. That was when I realized it was Diamond Dallas Page. I was like, I don't need to see any more of this. And I was talking to Charlie, and Charlie was like, yeah, you're missing out because he does all of his moves on criminals later in the series. I was like, I don't need to see that. I don't need to see
like his wrestling move.
Yes, like I don't need to see Batman do a diamond cutter. I don't need that. I don't need it. I'm good. Look, if you like this, that's cool, man. I'm not mad at you. I'm not giving you a hard time. It's great. It's just not for me. This is not for me.
I mean, I kind of want to see DDP as Hawkman or whatever do a diamond cutter, but that's about it.
That's silliness to me. Silliness.
Oh shit.
So that's cool. I'm good. I just don't need to see anything from this guy. Like, I feel like things like this actually hurt the genre. I don't think they help it. So it's not for me.
Well, you just don't get it, man. You just don't get it.
Sure. Look. As I said to myself as I was watching this feels like something that would be played on repeat in a Suncoast video in 1992. If you like, the guy who brought it in was like, dude, I saw this shit and my buddy made this. You got to check this out. And it's like cheap cosplay. And like, this shit is just running on loop at Suncoast Video, where you can pay $45 for a DVD, even though it's $20 everywhere else. Like, that's what it felt like to me. And look, maybe that's the point. Like, if you tell me that's the point, cool. I think it achieved it. I think it looks like garbage. So I'm good. Totally good. I also watched the 4 released episodes of The Dropout. This is the Hulu limited series. I think it's going to be 8 episodes about Elizabeth Holmes. This is the woman who started Theranos, which was that bullshit company that was like, oh, we can take a drop of your blood and then do like 82 tests on it, and like it'll be great, like it'll be awesome. And she was like the most highly valued woman ever.
Is it the woman who speaks like this? Like,
yes.
She kind of affected her voice, to sound more. I thought, okay, all right.
Look, I got to tell you, like, one, the Theranos story and Elizabeth Holmes story is fascinating, right? Because she's an interesting character. She going to jail, so you might as well watch somebody go to jail, because she going. Don't defraud rich people, man. Like, that's you can rip poor people off all day.
You can try to defraud rich people all you want, but they coming for you.
Yeah. It ain't like poor people who ain't got no legal recourse. Rich people got all the legal recourse. They gonna fuck you up when they find out. And she was like Theranos at its peak, I think, was valued at $9 billion to have a machine that didn't work. Not good. But it's actually an interesting character piece. I'm enjoying it quite a lot. What you realize is, like, as you're watching it, like, you're rooting for her at first because, like, she's just a kid she's a kid who gets into Stanford. Like, she's super smart, and she gets into Stanford, and she's awkward and like weird. And she has a totally normal voice at that point. And like, so you're rooting for her. You're like, yeah, all right, you're gonna make it. And then, like, shit starts to turn, and you're like, oh no. Are you watching some of this fucking Guardians of Justice?
I'm watching some of this shit.
Don't.
It's so fucking bad, yo.
I told you, don't.
I'm looking at these effects, yo. Like,
But here's the thing. It's only like a little bit worse than that show based on that Mark Miller comic. What was it called?
Is this Adi Shankar in the fucking? All right, yo. All right.
I don't know.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done. I just wanted to see DDP clothesline people and throw people through walls through the thinnest of walls.
Yes, well, of
like
course.
come on.
Yeah,
All
some
right,
people
I'm
seem to
done.
enjoy it. But yeah. So the Dropout is starring Amanda Seyfried. She's good. She's good as Elizabeth Holmes. But like you do root for her a little bit in the beginning as she's like making it. But once she has this crazy turn, you're like, wow, you're a real piece of shit. Like you are. And it's funny because her boyfriend, Sonny Belwani, is played by Naveen Andrews, who you would know as Syed Syed from Lost.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Which like, he was like a super like handsome guy back then. Like they like really played up him like his good looks. He's like, oh, time has not been great to people. Like they can just really make people look like pudgy and kind of like, oh, hey everybody. You're just like, oh, Syed used to be the shit. You were awesome. But yeah, it's a good character study. Like because she really gets caught up in like her downfall. Besides like, well, her real downfall isn't that she's like a real piece of shit person necessarily. Is that she got caught up in the Silicon Valley like get the fucking money. Like the only thing that matters is like win at all costs. And once she got swept up into that, she started lying about what she was doing and all this other shit, and started becoming dishonest. And then after that, it was like she couldn't get out of that spiral. So, I mean, I don't care that she spends 20 years in jail. I don't give a shit. You can't fuck around with people's lives, Like they told cancer patients that their product worked, which is fucked up. Yeah. And then I watched something. I'm only going to talk briefly about this because I'm going to do an actual full review. By the time people listen to this, it'll be up. Fresh. This is a new movie. It's on Hulu, starring Sebastian Stan. Look, this is really, really good. I actually really enjoyed it, and I don't want to give away too much of the premise. But the general idea here is I would put this movie somewhere between A Promising Young Woman and American Psycho. Like that's kind of where this movie lives. The subject matter is basically this young woman. She doesn't, she's kind of done with dating because she's getting treated like hot ass garbage by a bunch of guys. And her name is Daisy Edgar Jones, by the way. And she's very good in this. And she's going out with these guys on dates and stuff, and it's all horrible. But then she ends up meeting Sebastian Stan's character like in a grocery store. He just comes up to her, and they start going out, and you just start to learn more. Like he's not who he appears to be. Basically, I'll just leave it at that. And it devolves in like super interesting ways. Like it's got a lot of messaging about sort of the modern era of dating and the modern era of like how women are seen and things like that. It's fascinating. But if you liked A Promising Young Woman, I think you'll like this. Yeah. So check out Fresh on Hulu. Definitely. All right. You watched Suspicion?
Yeah, Suspicion is a Apple TV Plus show. Starring in the biggest air quotes you can possibly have. Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman's in it. If you like Uma Thurman, you better watch her. You better keep your eyes peeled because she's barely in it, right? But they're trading off. Oh yeah, she's barely in it. It's the show is about 5 people, 3 men, 2 women, who have their lives turned upside down after being identified by London police as suspects in the kidnapping and subsequent disappearance of American media mogul Catherine Newman's son, Leonardo. Catherine Newman is Uma Thurman. The show stars Kunal Nayar, who people may recognize as the brown fellow from The Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
Georgina Campbell, and Elizabeth Henstridge, if that name sounds familiar. She was Simmons in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, okay. I do. I like her. She's great.
Yeah, I like Simmons. She's great. This show is not that great.
Oh,
It's a thriller. All these people are kind of identified as, like the premise said, people who kidnap someone, and now they're all trying to clear their names, but at the same time they all have some sort of shady dealings in their past, which tie them, which make them likely suspects to the people who actually did the kidnapping. I'm watching it because it's something that my wife likes, but I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it, especially when there are far better shows on Apple TV Plus right now that you could be watching about work-life balance and all that.
Yes.
But if you're looking for, if you got nothing else to watch, maybe check out Suspicion. Although Maverick, don't. You'll be fine.
Just go watch Guardians of Justice.
I wouldn't say all that. Oh, look, let me ask you a question. Guardians of Justice or the other Mark Millar show?
Jupiter's Legacy?
Yeah, Jupiter's Legacy. Which one?
Oof. I mean, they're both bad, dude. Like, Jupiter Legacy is definitely a bigger budget, but like that's the difference between like $100 and like $130. Like, I think the storytelling is better in Jupiter Legacy. I'm not gonna act like the storytelling is the same, because the storytelling in Guardians of Justice is on some bullshit. It's on some bullshit.
I would, having seen none of these, just bits and pieces, quite literally bits and pieces of one episode, I would say that I think Jupiter's Legacy, I would presume that Jupiter's Legacy would be the bigger disappointment, because Guardians of Justice kind of, I would suspect, knows what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the budget for Guardians of Justice is, but dude, it can't be $100,000.
No,
right? Like it can't
I was
be.
I was skimming through this thing, and I'm like, there's a lot of animated sections in this.
Yeah, that's how you know, like they gotta keep that budget super low. Which, by the way, like I don't think I would be nearly as hard on it if he had just done it all animated. You know, like just do it all animated. Like I didn't even mind the animation, but it was like animation to live action to like really shitty CGI. I'm like, just pick one.
And that's what Tarantino. It really makes the bad CGI look that much worse when you see animation and your eye and your mind are convinced to know, okay, well, this is animation. I can give it certain passes, it can do certain things, and then when you turn to live action and you can't do all this supernatural shit, or you can't like even have glowing eyes that glow properly,
right?
It takes you out of it,
right?
Get the hell out of here with both of those things.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right. You watched The Power of the Dog?
Yeah, I'm trying to get through at least 9 of the 10 Oscar nominated films. I think I have 5 of them under my belt. Maybe 6. And I watched The Power of the Dog. Power of the Dog is I believe the front runner. It has the most Oscar nominations this year.
Oh, really?
At like 12. Yeah, it's got 12 nominations, including Best Picture, Director, and Actor, Supporting Actor. It's got a lot of nominations, right? It's a big deal. Like, there's a lot of hype going into this movie. And
I can't believe you'd watch this movie about a dog. That's weird. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, The Power of the Dog is a reference to a Bible verse, so there you go. That's why I watched it. Look, there's a lot of hype for this movie, and I honestly don't know why.
Wow, really? Wow.
The movie's fine. It's fine. Wow. It's not. It's it's
This guy hates God.
Well, one, I don't like westerns, right? So I find them I find them rather boring, particularly when there's no action in them. This movie is about. I don't want to give the entire fucking plot. The movie is basically about this family who owns this ranch. Two brothers played by not Matt Damon and and Benedict Cumberbatch. Yes. And Benedict Cumberbatch's character, not Matt Damon, marries a woman who has a son. The woman is not Matt Damon's real life wife, Kirsten Dunst.
Oh yeah,
and the son is played by Cody Smith McPhee. And then they come in. Yeah. They come into these people's lives, right? And Benedict Cumberbatch does not like these fucking people to the point where he is like the definition of like toxic masculinity, right? Like if toxic masculinity had a picture in the dictionary, it would be this character, Phil Burbank. And he's very antagonistic toward them until something happens. And I won't give that away if you really do want to watch this. Look, the performances are really good. From Benedict Cumberbatch. He plays a real prick. He plays a real piece of shit in this role. And if you're interested in Benedict Cumberdick, Dick, you get to see that too.
Oh, great!
But Jesse Plemons and Kirsten Dunst, an actual married couple, have like a weird relationship. And I mean, this takes place in like 1925, so
that's how all relationships were.
But the movie was fine, man. I'm not seeing the love and the like. There was no like filmmaking techniques that I thought were revolutionary. The story I don't think is very revolutionary. The acting from Benedict Cumberbatch is great. The acting from Cody Smith McPhee is great. But everyone else is just kind of like, I don't know.
Meh.
Not even meh. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Not Oscar worthy.
I don't know if it's if this wins Best Picture. I mean, I guess I know why, but of the movies that I've seen, I wasn't entertained as much as like Nightmare Alley or King Richard, or like I wasn't engrossed into it. And that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad movie, right? Like I'm not trying to Sam Elliott this movie, right? Like it's not. It's a good movie, but it's not. It wouldn't be in my top 10 from last year.
All right,
so it's on Netflix. It's a big old fine.
Wow.
Gonna be kind of upset if this wins Best Picture though. Gonna be real upset.
Wow.
This wins Best Picture.
What a jerk.
Apparently.
Yeah, you're terrible. All right. Real downer there, Micah. Jeez. Thought Power of the Dog was gonna be great.
I mean, we can,
I'll come back. I'll come back next week and tell you how Power of the Dog was the second best dog movie I've seen this year.
What would the first one be? Dog?
Yeah, Dog. Yeah, that's right. I thought this was the sequel to Dog. There's Dog, then Power of the Dog. The Dog Returns. All right, topics this week. Let's get into it.
I Am Legend. Next chapter will be happening with Michael Bakari Jordan. Okay, Warner Brothers is upping the stakes on the I Am Legend franchise. Didn't know one movie.
That's franchise, a weird thing to say. Franchise, is it?
One movie is a franchise now, guys. One movie, just like one McDonald's is a franchise. That first one from the founder is a franchise. All right.
That's right.
For his next chapter, the studio is bringing back not only the original star Will Smith, but also Black Panther actor Michael B. Jordan, and what will rep the duo's Deadline, what are you doing? And what will represent the duo's first big movie together and stars as producers. Look, I thought I Am Legend was fine. I don't have the love for that movie that apparently everyone else does.
Whoa. Do people have that much love for I Am Legend? Why?
I think they do. I think people like that movie a lot.
Okay.
I think people like that movie a lot. I think
hold
because
on.
people like Will Smith and they like dogs. Whereas the best scene for me was when he put that fucking dog out of its misery.
That's the best scene. You're a piece of shit. Hold on. I don't remember. Is I Am Legend, how did it end? Because I've seen the director's cut ending and the regular ending so many times I can't remember which one was the theatrical one.
The bad one was the theatrical one.
The one where he just walks out?
Yeah.
Ugh.
He just kind of walks out. And I think the director's cut, didn't he die in the director's cut?
Yeah, he had a grenade and he just blew it up.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a very long time since I've seen that movie. I've seen it once, didn't feel the need to see it again. But you know, somebody's excited for it. And
no, but in fairness, this was Will Smith, like when Will Smith ruled, like he ruled the summer, right? Like he had a movie come out. This
movie came out in December of 2007.
Really? It was December? I could have sworn it was in the summer. That's funny. I thought it was like 4th of July weekend.
No, man. Look, it's Oscar season, buddy. Oscar season. You gotta get.
No. I'm saying the original. I'm saying the original.
That's what I'm saying. Release date
really
December 14th, 2007.
Wow, I could have sworn. That's so funny. I could have sworn that was summertime.
No.
Are you excited for this? Is he playing the same character?
I guess. I don't know. I don't think I care.
That CGI on those like
they didn't look good,
monsters or whatever or zombies or whatever the hell they were was pretty bad. They
didn't look good, man. They did not look good. But you know what I remember most of that movie is that it was the first time that it was hinted that a Batman Superman crossover movie was happening.
Yes. Yeah, I remember the billboard, the huge billboard. Yeah.
That is what I vividly remember from this movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people remember that. Maybe that's why people like this movie. Before that got ruined. I just don't feel like this needs to happen. I just don't think it needs to happen.
Yeah, I think people like it because they like Will Smith and they like dogs, man. I might be on an island, but this ain't it for me.
I mean, I think you're on an island as to the reason why, but like not that small of an island, if that makes sense. Or, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I just don't look. I like the premise for the movie. I believe it's based on a book. Like, I like the premise for the movie. And I think maybe you could do this. You could redo this movie better, right? Obviously, this is going to be the sort of next chapter, which seems weird because it's like the whole point is like that he was alone, right? Like he had his dog and he was alone. But then in the movie, if I recall, like he walks out of there and then he like makes it to like a place where other human beings are. So
no, that's the alternate ending. That's the alternate ending. I'm looking at the Wikipedia. The regular ending: Neville takes the grenade, kills the Dark Seekers at the cost of his own life, saving the cure. Right. That's the theatrical cut. And then in the alternate ending, Neville talks to the alpha male of the Dark Seekers.
Right, because he has the woman.
Right, and he's got the female. And they stare down. There's a stare down. Neville apparently apologizes to them. And the alpha male contemplates killing Neville. He eventually forgives him and departs with the rest of the pack. So yeah, the alternate ending is the one where he lives.
I see. Okay, so then this is not the same character then, right? Like if this is the next chapter, then Neville is dead, right? Or no? I don't know. I think I live in the part where I don't care. Yeah, and like I need a trailer to get me interested. To be honest, I think I'm at a 0, and you're gonna have to pique my interest. Also, this shitty paragraph in this Deadline article really pisses me off. Talk about the two stars aligning. Smith and Jordan's movies combined have grossed a massive $12.3 billion worldwide. You're doing a lot of heavy lifting to Will Smith in that. Like I mean, look, don't get me wrong. I love Michael B. Jordan. He's great, but like, okay, he's been in like one mega movie. Will Smith has been in like 12 of them, like come on, like this is like that's a paragraph worth, like a sentence not even worth writing. Like it's just silly. Jay and Will Smith have gotten together for this new movie. Combined, their movies have made $7 billion. Oh well, that's amazing for Jay and Will Smith. Like it's just pointless. Like come on, like they're like not even remotely of the same age bracket or anything. Like just fucking relax. But okay, that's fine.
Next up, a new Alien movie is in the works with the director from Don't Breathe at the helm, Ridley Scott, cranky old Ridley Scott, who is like in his 80s now, still working.
He's not doing this. Thank God.
He will produce. He will produce. So he will have a say in what goes into that movie.
Why, dude? Why? This franchise has suffered under him so badly. Look, I haven't seen Don't Breathe. That's the one with the dude from Avatar, right? Stephen Lang.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard the first one was good. I heard the second one was not great.
The second one is like, why is there a second one, right? The first one, Stephen Lang was the villain, right? And then everyone was like, yo, this old man's a badass. And then the second one, he's the hero. Even though like he tried to artificially inseminate a woman with a turkey baster in the first one. But now it's time to root for him.
Yeah, like that's not cool. Like I don't feel comfortable rooting for that guy. Yeah, like that's weird, rape. Man. That's rape, brother. Like that's rape. Yeah, that's rape. Like turkey baster or not, that's rape. That's not cool. Yeah, that's a weird hero turn. Like wow. Like, we've only seen something so outlandish as like Boba Fett becoming a hero. I guess it's just crazy. Like, don't do that.
So the filmmaker behind Don't Breathe and 2013's remake of Evil Dead has been tapped to write and direct this original standalone Alien feature. Ridley Scott, who directed the original sci-fi horror movie released in '79, will produce. The project is intended to be made for Hulu as part of 20th Century's ambition to make more than 10 movies a year for the Disney-operated streaming service.
I mean, look. Again, The Dropout, Fresh, which is a very adult film. This, like, I think now that Disney has 20th Century under their thumb, I think you're going to see a lot more quality shit make it to Hulu. I really do. And that's very cool. Good for them. They got a lot of garbage.
They need it. I mean, look, Disney has been pimping that bundle that they have, which is Disney plus Hulu and ESPN. So Hulu's the weak link in that chain.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need a reason for people to log into Hulu.
Yeah, and look, if it's pumping up stuff, look, remember they've got Predator as well. Like if this is where all of their like big adult content is going, okay, like it's fine by me. I don't give a shit. I mean, that would put them in a pretty decent fight with HBO Max, because HBO Max has like all of the like big adult movies generally make it to HBO Max. So it's kind of cool to have Hulu be another spot for that too. So that's great.
I'd really like another Predator movie.
You'll get one. If this alien movie works,
I heard,
you'll get a Predator movie.
Last I heard, there is a Predator movie in the works from with Dan Trachtenberg directing, and it's supposed to be set in like the American Civil War or something to that effect.
The Civil War?
Yeah.
Nah, yo. Nah, Come on, yo. Look. Number one problem with that. That's all white people, yo. Like, and slaves. I got a problem with that. 2, the weapons suck. Like, dude, that's why the first Predator is awesome. Like, they had big guns. Yeah, a couple of muskets.
It's supposed to be called Prey.
I heard about that. All right. Yeah, I didn't know that was set in Civil War times.
It's a prequel to all the other ones, and it will showcase a Predator and his first journey to Earth. I'm trying to find where it says it would be like Civil War time.
Oh, see, it should be Western times. It should be Western times. That would be cool, because then that could tie into Predator 2, where the Predators actually give what's his face, Danny Glover. They give him like the flintlock. It's like Jesse James's gun or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, so like that would tie in, but like the Civil War. Nah.
I think it's the Civil War.
I hope that's not the location. That fucking sucks. It should be the Wild West. If you're gonna do a prequel, would be kind of cool, but because at least there's a lot of guns.
The latest film in the Predator franchise is described to be set in the world of the Comanche Nation 300 years ago. So more like Revolutionary War.
Fuck.
and a little before that, right? Because the country's only like 220 some odd years old. Right?
Okay, so if it's like with Native Americans, now that's very cool, right? Like, yeah, like I like that idea. Now the weapons obviously are not like, it's not big guns, so I'm gonna be slightly hypocritical in what I said. But like hand-to-hand combat with a Predator, that's kind of dope. But just a bunch of like rifles, that's boring. That's boring as shit.
Yeah, like a bunch of one-shot rifles, muskets and shit. I see.
Hold on, Predator. Give me a second. Like no, you're gonna get fucking murdered, dude. Like, but if it's like hand-to-hand with like axes and shit, like that could actually be kind of fun.
There's an image of a person who has some sort of, I guess, bow and arrow and a predator in the background. If you Google it,
oh, please don't suck. Just please don't suck. Please don't suck.
And I mean, we'll see. I'm a sucker for a Predator movie, no matter how good or bad they are.
I've seen them all.
Yeah, I've seen them all.
Even the one. Alien versus Predator. I haven't seen AVP 2 actually, because AVP was so egregious to me. I was like, this is bullshit. I'm not seeing.
And you hate black women, don't you? You just hate.
No, that was the first one. No, yeah, right. That was the first one, right? Where she runs off.
The one that you said was bullshit.
Yeah, it was bullshit. Where she ran off and she was like, "Let's go together." I was like, "What is this, Joe? A predator and a human being? They're just running off to battle together. Shut up.
I mean, have you seen the later Predator movies?
They're pretty bad. They're
kind of working together to beat super predators and predator dogs. So
I didn't mind. What was it? That was called The Predator, I think. I didn't mind that movie because I found it hilarious. Like, I had to really get to.
It was hysterical. Old broken nose, deep voice dude from the piano trying to be all hard and shit.
Oh no, that's Predators. That's
Oh nigga, the Predator Shane Black movie.
Yeah,
yo, that shit was oh my god. Man.
I laughed so much during that movie. I just found it to be funny.
It was funny and annoying, right? Like they tried to explain away everything, like why predators have dreads. Like, I don't need to know why predators have dreads.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
They have dreads because they have dreads because they grew their hair out that way, nigga. Like, who cares, right?
Right. It's just the way they look. Who gives a fuck?
It's just the way they look. And but yo, that movie ended with an Iron Man Predator, yo.
Yeah, that was dumb. That was dumb. Like, here's a Predator suit to stop the invasion of, like, I guess aliens later on. I'm like, okay, that's dumb. It makes no sense and looked really stupid. It should have been, they should have gone with what they originally had planned for the ending of that. It was a cryostasis Dutch. Like, that would have actually been cool.
That would have been cool, man.
Like, they were like, nah, let's just go with a Predator suit. What?
Also, you know, it was a little, I feel like it was a little tone deaf. Like, the autistic boy had like superpowers because of his autism. Like that.
Oh, I don't even remember that. I think my brain, to protect itself, was like, don't remember this.
Like, I understand, like, you know, like this disability is actually a strength, right? But
right, I get it.
It was just handled very weirdly.
Yeah, my guess is he knows someone personally who is probably on the spectrum, and that was his way of doing that.
Sure, I get it, but
doesn't mean it worked. Doesn't mean it worked.
Yeah,
came from a good place. I get that, but sometimes sometimes you shouldn't try. It's basically my point. Like, sometimes, like, just don't do that.
Yeah, I think that Ben Affleck movie kind of handled that a little better.
Where the accountant,
autistic hitman.
Yeah, he was autistic Batman.
Yeah,
they're making a second one of those.
All right, I'd watch it. You know, I mean,
he was fucking people up in that movie. Wasn't terrible. All right, next up,
Twisted Metal. The Peacock lands live action video game adaptation starring Anthony Mackie. This first sentence does not sit well with me at all. Peacock has handed a series order to Twisted Metal, a comedic half-hour live-action adaptation of the popular video game, for which no one apparently has played, that has anything to do with this film.
Yo, it's not comedic. It's not comedic.
It's not funny, yo. If anything, it's dark humor, and it's not a lot of it. It's from Sony Pictures Television, PlayStation Productions, and Universal Television. Anthony Mackie stars and will executive produce the project, first announced in September, which is written and produced by Cobra Kai writer Michael Jonathan Smith, who will serve as showrunner. This is not. Look, I know everybody likes Cobra Kai. It doesn't work on me. Cobra Kai has not worked on me. I don't.
That's fine.
I don't. Right, it's fine. I look. I'm happy that everyone else loves it, but when you say Cobra Kai writer, Twisted Metal comedic half-hour live-action adaptation, every single one of those words just doesn't make sense with Twisted Metal. The game with a psychotic killer in a clown mask who has a flaming head because the electric chair malfunctioned, and now his head is just constantly on fire. Hilarious.
I think it's hilarious that people used to play this game. That's the only thing I find hilarious. No.
Okay. Okay. All right, a little more here. Based on the PlayStation game series, Twisted Metal is a high-octane action comedy based on an original take by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. Those guys have a good dark sense of humor. Obviously, they worked on Zombieland and the first Deadpool, I believe, and maybe the second one too. About a motor-mouthed outsider offered a chance at a better life, but only if he can successfully deliver a mysterious package across the post-apocalyptic wasteland. Anthony Mackie stars as John Doe, a smart-ass milkman who talks as fast as he drives. With no memory of his past, John gets a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make his wish of finding community come true, but only if he can survive the onslaught of savage vehicular combat. Look, I don't.
It could work. That could actually work. I could see it.
I mean, all right.
Not for me, but I could see it working for others.
I don't think a Twisted Metal. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll watch the trailer, right? I'll watch the trailer, but I'm only gonna watch it just to kind of hope that I get mad at it.
That's a pretty honest response. Just to see if I'll get mad at it. By the way, that image from Prey looks pretty that looks pretty dope, actually. Like, look, again, if they're fighting like Native Americans, like that's fucking badass. I'll watch that. If they're fighting a bunch of white people in the Civil War, I'm not watching it. Like, I'm not. Yeah, that's the worst fucking idea for a Predator movie I've ever heard. Why don't we have it in the Civil War? Well, count me out. But that looks dope. All right, yeah, Twisted Metal. I can't say that I'm remotely interested. I was never been remotely interested in the game. I played it once and I was like, this is dumb. So yeah, it's fine. You look, you show me a trailer, maybe it'll pique my interest. I have no idea.
Yeah, this is dumb. Now let's go back to fat plumbers and throwing turtle shells at each other.
Yeah, like smart people do. Come on.
It's the same game, guys. It's the same game.
Knock it off.
Virtually. Next up, PlayStation's flagship action adventure franchise God of War is headed to television. Prime Video is in negotiations for a live action TV series based on the hugely popular ancient mythology themed game. Apparently, the scuttlebutt is that the series adaptation comes from the Expanse creators. And the Wheel of Time executive producer, as well as Sony Picture Television and PlayStation Productions. This would mark the latest big deal for a television series based on a popular video game in a red hot streaming marketplace for a gaming IP. Look, I like God of War. I feel like I grew up with that series. Kratos has had a hell of an arc. The first few God of Wars are like a man in his 20s, just fucking raging all the time, right? Like even Kratos is an asshole, and like if you go back and revisit those first God of Wars for the original, like the original ones on like PlayStation 2 and shit like that, it he is the reason for all of his for all of this shit happening to him. He is ultimately the reason. His lust for power, his bloodlust. He made a deal with the devil, the god of war, Ares, because he was about to get beaten in combat. And like when people are facing death, they pray to God to help them. And Ares was like, all right, bet, but you got to work for me if I help you out. He was just like, anything. I just want to kill this barbarian. And Ares was like, got it, right? And he bestowed upon him like the blades of chaos and all this shit. And he was able to fucking do this shit, right? He was able to kill that barbarian. And now Kratos is Ares' instrument of war on Earth, right? And no matter what Ares does, he says, you go over here and you kill these fucking people. He fucking does it, right? And he did that once, and in his rage, Kratos accidentally murders his wife and child. And an old woman curses him and says, well, now you are going to wear the ashes of your dead family on your skin, which is why Kratos his appearance is literally white, right? Like that's Kratos. And now he's like, yo, you betrayed me, yo, even though like my bitch ass lost a fight and I prayed to God to help me. And because I couldn't take my ass whooping like a man. So now I have to kill you all. Right. And then he does, and he literally kills all the gods. And by doing that, he ruins the world. And then we cut to him in like Nova Scotia or wherever.
Right.
And the newer God of War is very, very good. I know I've been rambling about God of War, but I really like it. And this version of God of War, the director, he said that he kind of did this because he went in this direction because he's married to like a Scandinavian woman or a foreign woman, and they have a child together, right. And their child speaks to the mother in her native language, right? Like the child is bilingual, and he kind of, and the director kind of feels ostracized a bit, like that's a relationship that he won't be able to comprehend, right? And then he was like, well, what if
he could learn the language?
he's like,
this is impossible for me to figure out.
And he's like, well, what if, and then it's like, well, what if the mother died, right? And then that's kind of where God of War takes place, right? Like God of War, he's got this son from this woman. He's in this foreign land. He's a foreign man in a foreign land, right? He doesn't really get shit, so he's a loner, and he's not very close with his son. You know what I mean? Like if you're a bad parent, this would be a perfect like how to be a parent type of guide for you.
Yeah, there's nothing better to learn how to be a parent through God of War 4. So first I kill this troll with a giant axe. Yeah, no, I'm a good dad now. That's fine.
If they do, I'd say all that to say that the first era of God of War would not make for entertaining television. It just wouldn't. It's a one-dimensional character with one motivation.
Right.
And the new God of War, which is probably what this is going to be based on, this television show is going to be based on, is a much better source to mine from, and I am looking forward to seeing this.
Okay, so what I would say to all of that is keep your video games on your other fucking show. Get that gamer talk out of here. Beat it, nerd. But what I would say is you're probably going to get a bit of both. I could see it taking place in the present in the God of War 4 universe, like this older Kratos who's more mature, trying to connect with his son or whatever. And then him like relaying stories of him younger in his like rage days, right? Or like him fighting and being like having to like, oh, that kind of reminds me of a thing. And then like them flashing back to him just like taking on these other gods. Because I can't imagine, or they may do something completely different, right? It might just be in that universe and they just fucking scrap it and do what they want. But I can't imagine they'd give up the opportunity to have Kratos take on the Greek gods. Like I feel like you're definitely going to see those things. Like they're going to want you to see it. I mean, Zeus and all that. Like you're going to want to have that kind of stuff. So my guess is they probably do a flashback. Because I can't imagine, you're right, I can't imagine them jumping back to the younger Kratos and starting there. Like that feels weird. Because then eventually you're going to want to get to God of War 4 world, and it's going to feel a little weird that you've known this like insane person for 2 or 3 seasons, and then suddenly he's very different. Like it doesn't work. But if you know him as the God of War 4 version, and they flash back to this like impulsive, crazy 20-year-old, like then it makes a lot more sense. Like I think people can wrap their heads around it a little bit easier. So that's fine. I mean, look, the little I know of God of War, especially of God of War 4 that I've seen, I think you're right. I think it's right for mining a bunch of shit from it. So, okay.
One last thing, I would love to Kratos is black. He has always been portrayed by a black person.
You think they're gonna do it?
He is voiced by Terrence T.C. Carson of in the original games. He is voiced by the Babylon 5 dude, that big black dude.
You mean from Stargate?
From Stargate in the newer games, and his body is modeled after a late black professional wrestler named Shad Gaspard. Everything about Kratos is fucking black. Even in God of War 4, he dated a white woman, and now he's got a kid that he's not really like That he don't understand. Everything about Kratos is fucking black. I would love it if they cast a black actor to play Kratos. And look, you could paint him white, right? Ashes of the family and all that shit.
Yeah.
I would just love if who's the Negro of the moment that was in Watchmen and is going to be an ambulance and Candy.
Oh, Yahya Abdul Mateen.
I would love it if like Yahya Abdul Mateen was fucking Kratos or somebody like that. I would love it. I would love it.
I mean, he's got the voice. He could do the voice. Like I feel like he's got the ability to do the voice. I wouldn't be mad at that. I'm gonna need people to not get too upset because I don't think they're gonna cast a black dude, man. I don't think so.
Of course not.
They're gonna cast a white dude. You're gonna have a black dude. Look, I would support it. I would love it. I would love it. Look, but you're gonna have a black dude murdering a bunch of white gods. I mean, again, I would love it. I would love it. I tune in every week. Holy shit, he's killing Zeus this week. This is awesome. He's gonna kill Thor. Wow, I can't wait to watch. How do I watch it twice? So I don't know, man. Like it, you know what? It would all depend on how involved is the creator of this with this production. Like if he's like really in it, like no, Kratos is black. Like, all right, but I know America. I know America, and I just don't. I can't imagine, dude. I can't imagine.
I'm having fun. In canon, Kratos is not black, but that was like I remember Melissa Harris Perry once said that she thought that Darth Vader was black because James Earl Jones voiced him, right? Even though he took his helmet off and he was as white as a fucking cue ball.
And his son was Mark Hamill.
And this is the same thing, right?
Nah, Kratos is black, bro. Get out of here.
I would love it. I would love it just to see people get fucking mad.
Nah, I want Kratos to be black. Nah, I do, yo. I do. Because I agree with you. I just want to see like how pissed people get. But again,
right. I'm not even like rooting for black actors for this role at this point. I'm rooting for people to be mad.
Like, where does it take place? Where does the original story take place?
In ancient Greece.
So he's at least like darker.
Yeah, you can see he's very olive skinned. Yeah. Without the, the remnants of his dead wife and daughter. You can see he is olive skinned. He's an olive skinned white man.
Yeah. Nah,
I don't know. I just want to be black. I want him to be a big black dude. I want him to be a big black dude. I want him to be railing Atreus's mom before she dies. And yeah, I want people to feel like cucks while watching God of War.
Why not just get the dude who played the guy Christopher Judge who voiced him? That guy is, I guess he's
huge.
Yeah, he's dude.
Older, but he is a big dude and he's still in shape, man. Like,
but I'm saying if you're gonna do like an older Kratos, like you're getting the voice that people know, like you know what I mean? Like they're gonna be like, oh shit, there he is.
I would love it.
I feel like if you got Christopher Judge, I feel like most people would let that. They'd be like, what are you gonna say? Like, you can't be like, nah, fuck that guy. Like that dude is Kratos. Like, no, not him. That's not fair. Like, yeah, I'm looking at like new pictures of him. Yeah, that dude is still fucking huge. Like, yeah, he was gigantic on Stargate too. But like, I could see it. Yeah, why not? Like, you give that guy a full beard, he kind of even looks like the character already. Like, I imagine they kind of mimicked his face a little bit when he did mocap for this. Like,
probably, yeah.
You know what? Christopher Judge. Like, that just makes sense. Like, he's a TV actor. Like, he can act. Like, yeah. He's got the voice. Like, he's already got a built-in fan base. He's a perfect choice.
There you go.
Nah, if it's not Christopher Judge, I'm not watching this. I'm going to be pissed. Nah. If it's not a black dude, I don't know what Christopher Judge's ethnicity is. It feels nebulous to some degree to me. So I'm not sure. I don't want to speculate. But if it's not Christopher Judge or a black dude I know, then I'm not seeing this movie. I'm not watching the show. I'm putting a ridiculous line in the sand that I definitely will cross. And then, like, yeah, we're only like 2 weeks away from Halo, man. So yeah, a lot of video game shit coming up. Next up, HBO Max orders the Penguin limited drama series with Colin Farrell as the lead, playing his same character from the Batman. Okay, yeah, look, that makes sense. This has always been their plan for quite some time. So yeah, Reeves is not working on it, however, but he is executive producing it. With Lauren LaFranc writing and serving as showrunner. So I don't know how much Lauren LaFranc was involved in the Batman. I'd have to look it up. But okay, yeah. Look, it's HBO. I'm gonna watch it. And yeah, you know,
I mean,
considering the events at the end of the Batman, this makes total sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I would watch this. I think Gotham City as a character was very interesting in that new movie. Colin Farrell looked like he was having a good time.
I got you.
Yeah,
he was having a fucking blast.
Yeah. So yeah, I would give this a shot. And, you know, it's HBO, like, even stuff that I'm not, like, even for properties that I'm not super jazzed for, I will at least give it a shot because HBO generally puts out quality work 9 times out of 10. Even if it's something that I'm not into, I recognize that it is still good.
Right. And that's HBO. We're not just talking about Warner Brothers, who puts things on HBO Max. HBO. Like, very specifically, right? So I don't try to put like Kong versus Godzilla into that bucket.
Right.
They do not belong there. Next up. So do you remember a couple of weeks ago, Micah, when Warner Brothers, specifically DC, released that video where it had like clips of the Flash and clips of Black Adam and clips of the Batman, and they were like, "Are you in for 2022? Like, this is our year, man."
They played it right before my showing of the Batman.
Yeah,
they played that sizzle reel.
Yep, they did that as for mine as well. And I remember thinking to myself,
"Said 2022."
Right, and I remember saying to myself when they asked, "Are you in?" I thought to myself, "Yes, I am. I'm really rooting for you guys to get it right in 2022 because I feel like this is your year." And so far, the Batman has obviously lived up to the promise of that. Well. Warner Brothers also lived up to their promise, which is, how do we fuck this up easily without fail? Warner Brothers has now shuffled the release dates for several movies, including Black Adam, The Flash, Aquaman 2, Wonka, and Shazam 2. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom and The Flash are both being pushed from 2022, the year that, you know, we're supposed to, are we in? They're getting pushed till next year due to COVID-induced production delays for visual effects. Dude, come on, man. Come on. All
right.
The Jason Momoa starring sequel is being pushed back from December of this year to March of next year, which isn't terrible, right? That's only 3 months. Meanwhile, Ezra Miller's first solo outing as The Flash is speeding away from its November 4th, 2022 date to June 23rd of 2023. Yo, it's like 8 months.
What else is coming out in November? And when I say what else, I mean like what Marvel movie is coming out in November, right? Like
Thor, Love and Thunder, I believe.
All right, well, guess what? I'm gonna get out of their way. I'm gonna get out of their way, to not crowd the market. Not even to say that you're necessarily.
Oh no, I'm sorry, that's wrong. No, Thor is in July of this year. Never mind.
So is there no Marvel? I can't remember if there's a Marvel movie coming out in November. They usually do 3. One in like May, one in like summer, and one in like November.
I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing anything. Creed 3? Is that? I didn't know that had a date. That's interesting. I don't see anything major coming out in November.
Well, then I don't know why they're moving. I mean,
they're saying production value or production costs.
I get why they're moving to June, right? Like that's going to be a big budget movie. It's going to have a nostalgia aspect to it.
For which movie?
I can see why for The Flash.
Oh yeah.
So sure. I can see why they're moving to June. June feels like a better time for that movie.
Yeah, but like there was no way to move it to summertime this year. Like, because keep in mind, they moved to give the full spectrum, like the full look of this. They moved Black Adam off of its July date of this year and moved Super Pets, DC's League of Super Pets, in its place, thus moving Black Adam to October. Why would you move Black Adam out of the summer to put it in the wintertime if you think that, or fall, when you think, like, if you think that movie is good?
I wonder if it's more of moving Super Pets to the summertime and somebody else has to move, right? Because Super Pets is a 4-quadrant movie. 4-quadrant movie means sure. that dads, moms, sons, and daughters are all the target audience for said movie. And those are the type of movies that people really want to make because they make a lot. That executives really want to make because they make a lot of money, right?
Yep.
And moving that to the summer makes 100% sense. Kids are out of school. And parents got disposable income. Like people go out during the summer. That makes a lot of sense. And somebody had to move. I don't know. I don't have their slate of movies up, but I feel like if you're gonna move one, you're probably gonna move the movie that you have not necessarily no faith in, right? Because they are pushing it. But I feel like this is the right movie to move. And, movies that come out in the fall, they can do well.
Yeah.
The move it's not weird, but I get it.
So here's the thing. Black Adam comes out October 21st. The only thing that it has an untitled Paramount movie that it's competing with. So we don't know what that is yet, which is weird. Halloween Ends comes out a week before, but that's not going to be in the same demographic. So I don't think that's a problem. At the beginning of that month, Across the Spider-Verse comes out. And it's the tail end of that week. I don't know that that's going to still have big legs by the time the 21st comes around. But I still think it might take a little away from Black Adam if that's not great. Because, Across the Spider-Verse has no competition for really two weeks. None. There's nothing. Halloween Kills or Halloween Ends is not even in the same boat, right? Like they're just two wildly different movies. And I'm wondering if they're just calculating that Across the Spider-Verse is going to be like largely like it'll be calming down by the time they come in on the 21st. I don't know. I guess for me, like I can understand.
You give it 2 weeks. You give Spider-Man 2 weeks to kind of rule everything, and then nothing else comes out during that month. So I'm not necessarily mad. The next big thing, the next like thing that could be something amazing is Black Panther, which is scheduled for November
of 2022.
Yeah, though that's what this Movie Insider site says. I mean,
that's probably correct. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's kind of wild, right? Because like you're putting these movies up again. I feel like the biggest issue is they definitely knew this, or I don't know, did they just learn in the last like 2 or 3 weeks before they put up that big like, are you in 2022 thing to shift all of this shit around? Like it feels irresponsible to me. Because now they're moving Shazam, Fury of the Gods. They're moving that up to this year from next year. That's actually moving up a couple of months, coming from June of 2023 to December of 2022, which that's a bad idea. And I know, like, is it a bad idea? That movie did pretty good. Yeah, there's another movie coming out in December, a few days before it. I don't think that movie's going to do gangbusters like people somehow think it, like the first one did, but it ain't going to be no fucking easy boat to get past, which is Avatar 2. You're going to throw Shazam to the fucking wolves? Why?
Maybe they're thinking, Dude. Spider-Man came out December, 17th, 2021? It's coming out December 16th, 2022. That's a whole day ahead.
Yo, Avatar comes out 5 days or like a week before this, You think Avatar's not going to have legs in the second week?
This thing says it's coming out the same day.
Oh, really?
Same day, yeah, the 16th. This says it's coming out the same day.
I thought Shazam. Oh, I'm sorry. It says Shazam is December 12th, and Avatar is the 16th. Yo, that's a disaster. 4 days difference. Even if Avatar's not good, 4 days isn't enough space for you. There's not enough space, You got to give that movie at least 2 weeks at the box office. At least, maybe 3. All right. Like, look, I don't know if that movie's getting made. I mean, James Cameron says it's coming out this year. So maybe WB knows something that he doesn't know. Or he knows what we all know, which is like, nobody's really that interested in that movie. Like, they're just not, I don't know why people think that movie's going to do like $2 billion. I just really don't. I think that movie would be very lucky to do $1 billion. Very lucky. And if it does, great. But you better come up with a fucking gimmick. I don't know what the gimmick is. But you might want to start talking about it soon, considering it's November. Warner Brothers says that they're turning over a new leaf, just like the last time they turned over a new leaf. After the Batman came out, Warner Brothers came out, their president, Toby Emmerich, said, future DC movies will be filmmaker driven, just like the Batman. Which is why we're moving all of these movies all over the map, because we respect filmmakers. Do you think that's a good idea? Like, can you have a cinematic universe with a filmmaker-driven mentality, or do you have to have some sort of mixture of, like, it is the way it is, like, we're doing it this way kind of thing, like Marvel does?
They're not doing a cinematic universe. They're not.
You think it's dead?
Universe.
You think it's totally dead?
Yes, they're not doing a cinematic universe. Like, it's not going to. Cinematic universes are. I'm so tired of that term, but it's not what they're interested in. It's not. They've shown that they're not interested in it.
No, I think they can't do it. I think they would love. I think they would love to do it if it worked, but I think they can't do it.
And I think they can't do it, and I think they realize that. So now they're just going to say, well, we don't need a cinematic universe. We have a multiverse, right? Like that was the big thing during one of their fandoms is that, well, we're the multiverse. We have all these different types of movies from all these different types of creators. And I think that's how they're going to pivot until they figure out what works.
Yeah.
And then they can be like, oh, well, now, like they did it with their animated movies. They did it with their animated movies, dude. Like they have individual movies. They created one, they created another, and then they were like, you know what? I mean, we used the same art style. Let's just say that they're all together. And then they started building off of that, right? Like they kind of fumbled into it. And I think they would be wise to do this, to do it that way for the live action stuff, quite frankly. Until something really hits, like, and not just like everybody went to see it, but like critics love it. Fans are gonna love it because they're fans.
Right.
And it becomes some sort of phenomenon. Then I think, all right, they're going to be like, well, let's just kind of build off of this then. And in the meantime, they're not, and if they do it this way, they're not necessarily pigeonholed into creating and continuing their universe, right?
Right.
They can take a break from it. They could take a break and give you a Joker, which doesn't take place anywhere. Yeah. They can take a break and give you a Batman Beyond, and oh, hey, guess what? If that really hits, we can make up some bullshit in the next movie in our universe to bring Terry McGinnis in to the universe that potentially they could create. They can fix this, man. They really can.
It
doesn't seem like it's that hard.
Like the one thing that all this shifting around really pisses me off is that the one movie that you need to fix this, you're shifting to next year, which is you need the Flash to actually happen sooner rather than later, right? You need that movie to reset things so you can go, okay, whatever we're doing now is the thing we're doing now. Everything else in the back, don't worry about that. But what we're doing now going forward, it's all connected or not connected depending on whether we want it to work. But to push it back another year feels like a big mistake. But
maybe they're like, well, shit, maybe we can fix this if we take a break and figure some shit out. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
Like it's not like these movies, like they're still coming out in the order in which they were going to be released, right? Like Black Adam is still coming out first.
Well, except for Shazam. That comes out before all of them. Or no, I'm sorry, that comes out before Flash and Aquaman. But go ahead.
Right. So I'm thinking, look, the bottom line is I think that they can, if they care about doing a connected world, I think they can pull it off with and still be able to have one-offs, right? Because that's also part of the fun, right? Like the Batman doesn't seem like it would play well in the universe that the Flash is in.
Feels a bit weird. Yeah, it feels a bit weird.
Right. And the same thing with I didn't see that Joker movie, so you'll have to tell me. But that Joker movie doesn't seem like it would fit well in the Aquaman world, right? The world that Aquaman.
I mean, the Joker notoriously can't swim. Everyone knows
that. So I think they can do it, and I think that also helps your product not become stale. What's one of the biggest arguments that people have about Marvel movies? They're all the same. They all look the same. They all feel the same. You can guess the beats where they are, where they're coming from. if you have your the Batmans and you still have your DCEU movies, it still keeps things fresh.
Yeah,
now you have to make sure if you do it that way, you have to make sure that you get the word out that like, hey, this is different,
right?
And this is not connected to this. That's
confusing. That can be, and like we get that because we follow this stuff, right? Fans who follow this stuff will get it, but yeah, your casual people will be like, why isn't Batman showing up like in the other thing? You know, like so. Right. Yeah, I agree with you. Like it's interesting because some people think that, you know, this is all being delayed because of the Batman is doing incredibly well and is really well received, that they want to try to like force some Batman things into those other movies. I don't know about that, but what I would say is you're not going to get a scenario. I would be shocked if you got a scenario where Reeves's Batman is somehow connected to the Flash or any of this without Reeves like his say so, right? Like I think that would be really weird to do that. I really I don't think his Batman is that world is impossible to move into the regular universe. I just think you have to do it in a clever way. I just don't think like you just can't have Green Lantern or Superman or whatever just showing up in Gotham because it just seems fucking weird. But you can have that psychopath showing up in Metropolis or something like that because like him coming to that world feels like it would make a little bit more sense. Though like it's also part of comics. Like Gotham is like a dark fucking city where like Metropolis is all bright and fucking sunny. Yeah, but it would be
Gotham is New York and Metropolis is Chicago. Like that's the vibe, right? Like right. Those are the analogs. Like every DC city has a real world.
Oh, I always thought Gotham was. I mean, I know people call New York Gotham, but like just because of the above ground trains and stuff like that, I always assumed it was sort of, and just because it's a dirty fucking city, it was based on Chicago to some extent.
I mean, it's filmed in Chicago, but no, Gotham is New York, Metropolis. At least this is how I see it. Gotham is New York, Metropolis is Chicago, Coast City is San Diego,
or LA.
Central City. Right. Well, the only reason I say San Diego is because Hal Jordan's a pilot, right?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. And Central City is, you know, in the middle of the fucking country somewhere.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So, yeah, I don't know what they'll do. I do miss the idea of getting Batman into the regular universe. I think it's a real shame that he's not going to be there. Because I think what they're building is very cool. Look, Aquaman is going to be inherently goofy. Like, it's just... I mean, this guy fucks fish. Like, this is going to be inherently goofy. But I think if, like, in a sequel or a third movie, I think you could start to move the Batman into a style that would work more. It doesn't always have to feel as hyper gritty as that first movie did. But I don't want it to be so fucking light that it loses its traction. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Maybe it should just stay separated. But like you said, you could just do the multiverse and just be like, yeah, it's the multiverse, like whatever. And if you need Batman, you go pluck him from his universe for a movie and then you bring him back. I mean, you could easily just do that, by the way. Like that could just be the thing. Is he gets recruited and he's like, I don't want to go there. And they're like, but we need you, Batman. He's like, all right. And then he goes and he beats people up and then he comes back. So I don't know. You could do that, I guess. I don't know if DC has any idea what they're actually doing. All right, let's jump down. We don't have any what the fuck stories this week. But let's jump down into trailers. First one, what is this trailer? Atlanta season 3. You've definitely caught up with the other seasons.
Yeah, I've seen I've seen all of Atlanta. I look. It's been a very long time since I've rewatched. Since I've watched those shows.
Yeah.
So I don't remember anything about them. But I love Atlanta. I think it's a great show. I think it's borderline brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm very, very happy that it's back. It's a weird, like, quirky world, and you're seeing these very black people interact in this weird fucking world. It's like if black people were in Portlandia. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's funny because I find the vibe of this show super familiar. Like it feels like Master of None. It feels like a lot of those type of shows and movies. Like 2 Days in Paris and things like that, which I think a lot of people are just like, wow, the show is really brilliant, and it is. Like, I don't take anything away from it. I think it's incredibly well done. But it just goes to show, like, that's how little we see of black people in those kind of quirky scenarios, that this feels so foreign to most people seeing this. But I'm like, this doesn't feel foreign to me at all, because this is very much in that style. But it's just so nice to see black people doing it, right? Like that I just think is so cool. So I'm super here for it. I love the first 2 seasons. That second season was bonkers. The second season was so good. And I felt like the first season was well done, but the second season is where it really hit its stride. So it looks like this one is, more very second season-esque. So I'm kind of bummed it's only getting 4 seasons, because I think the show is brilliant. But look, I'll take it.
Yep.
Yeah, look, as I queue up this next movie, are you still a huge Judd Apatow fan there, Micah?
Not really. I feel like well, first of all, his name's Judd. It's just a weird name, man.
That's mean.
Judd is a weird name. Like, what is it short for? Juddadiah? Like, what is Judd?
Juddadiah. Yes, that's what it's short for. Juddadiah.
What is Judd short for? Because it can't be like just a dude named Judd, especially the way it's spelled with 2 D's. Right? Like, it's gotta stand for something. Anyway, I used to really like Judd Apatow. I still kind of like Judd Apatow, but I feel like at the start of like the late 2000s, the early 2010s, I felt like he started to get up his own ass, making essentially like dramatic comedies, which are while they are good, they are very self-indulgent. Right. And I find and it feels like this dude's like, I'm a director, I've got something to say, right? And I'm gonna take 2.5 hours plus to say it. Yeah. And I get kind of tired of it. I haven't seen, the last one I saw was King of Staten Island, which I think was his last movie. Look, I enjoyed that movie for what it was, but part of the reason why I watched it is to see Pete Davidson like act.
Right.
Because like Pete Davidson is a weird dude.
Yeah, he is.
And especially then, because he was like kind of trying to get off of drugs.
Yeah.
Like during this. So I was watching it just to, for morbid curiosity. The one I saw before that was Trainwreck, which again, while it's a movie, right? Like, I get it.
I'm trying to think of the last Apatow movie I've actually sat and watched.
This is 40 no. Did you see This is 40?
Wait, which one is This is 40?
This is 40 is with the sexiest man in America, Paul Rudd, and Leslie Mann.
Yeah, I did see This is 40. Yeah. Once, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, once, because I don't have that kind of fucking time. And look, they're not these movies. I'm looking at the running times. This is 40 is an hour or 2 hours and 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so much longer, dude. Like
yeah, they do. Like his movies drag. They generally have a pretty bad dragging like style to them that I'm just like, I don't need it. I don't need it.
Yeah, man. Like The King of Staten Island is 2 hours and 17 minutes. I swear that movie was like 240. Like it feels.
I swear
so
that
long.
movie was 240.
It feels so long, dude.
I remember The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Like that movie, if it wasn't, it very well felt like it was 3 hours long.
Yo, I was like, under 2 hours. It's under 2 hours.
No, that's not. That's impossible to believe that. That's impossible to believe that. No,
it's an hour. It's 160. It's 116 minutes. It's
what?
Under 2 hours.
Yo, that movie felt like it was 3 hours long.
He has serious pacing issues, man. So I'm not a huge Judd Apatow fan. This
Knocked
movie,
Up is his best movie. It's his best movie in my opinion.
This movie, The Bubble, it's in the midst of a COVID-19 pandemic. A group of actors travel to a closed film set in England to film the 6th installment of a dinosaur-themed blockbuster franchise for Netflix. Look, man, I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna run out and see this or boot this up on Netflix. It's scheduled to come out on April Fool's Day. No.
Well, hold on. You have two choices. You have The Bubble or you have Morbius. You have to pick one.
Oh, I'm picking The Bubble. Yeah.
Okay.
All
right then.
I'm picking The Bubble. Yeah, like get the fuck out of here. Look, it stars a bunch of people.
A
lot of people. David Duchovny's in it.
Of course he is.
Keegan-Michael Key, Leslie Mann, Kate McKinnon. Like a lot of really funny people are in this. I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem. I think I'm just kind of tired of it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Which is weird because his last movie came out. When did King of Staten Island? His last movie came out 2 years ago. But I'm still kind of tired of it.
I feel like it's still running. I think it's still running. Yeah, I feel like his movies are all 3 hours long, and it's just like that's enough for me.
I can't believe all these movies hover around the 2 hour mark.
Like, how?
No.
Nah. I shouldn't. By the way, I shouldn't say Knocked Up is his best movie. 40-Year-Old Virgin is definitely his best movie, but Knocked Up I think is better paced than 40-Year-Old Virgin. Again, that movie feels like it's 4 days long. It's got really great movies. I will not watch any of his movies a second time.
Yeah.
No, I got it. Like I got the premise. I need to move on with my life. All right, let's talk about the thing that actually matters here. Trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi dropped today to glorious fanfare. Look, I'm going to say this. This looks great. I do have a problem with them using Duel of the Fates like in this trailer because I think it's incredibly manipulative. That being said, I fucking loved it and I'm super excited. It's incredibly manipulative. Like the second they showed that logo, that's when Duel of the Fates comes on. I was like, hook it to my veins. Like, are you kidding me? Yeah, this looks good, man. It looks great. They've got Inquisitors now, which apparently are force sensitive villains. I don't know much about them. They look cool. Yeah, I'm here for it. They got the dude back as the uncle from the prequels. Yeah. All right. There's a black female Inquisitor, which apparently people were saying like, oh, I hope she gets redeemed as a Jedi. People are like, why does she need to get redeemed? She's a villain. She's a villain, dude. Like, just let her have fun as a villain. She doesn't have to be redeemed. I get it. You want black people to be awesome. I get that. She could just be a badass villain. It's okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be a hero.
Yeah, like it's way more fun to play villains, by the way. it's way more fun to play villains.
Yeah,
because the villains are the ones that make the heroes look good.
Yeah,
like it's a much bigger responsibility. It's way more fun to play the bad guy or the bad girl or the bad person. And yeah, look, this looks amazing. I think that I look, I'm super pumped for this. Never did I think I would be pumped for an Obi-Wan Kenobi focused movie series.
right.
Just because, like, I like Obi-Wan and all, but like, you know, there are other characters that I think are interesting, but this is this looks good, man. Like, they're just getting better and better with the production value on these things. I saw people kind of getting kind of poking fun at the fact that the Grand Inquisitor doesn't look like his animated counterpart. Are you really complaining that a character doesn't look like a cartoon? Like the cartoon character has a head that's like longer than mine. What the fuck?
People have the weirdest nitpicks. I saw a whole video someone did, and they were like, Cad Bane looks so different than from the animated, series than he did in live action. People were like, really? Like, even Star Wars fans were like in the comments like, it's like pretty fucking close. Like what are you bitching and you're just making a video to bitch and complain. Like, come on, dude. Like, and these are Star Wars fans, and they're like, this is a bridge too far. Like, they complain about everything. Yeah, I think it looks great. This is streaming May 25th. So, yeah, this is perfect, right? So we get dropped right after Moon Knight. We get dropped right into the beginning of May for Doctor Strange 2. We wait 3 weeks, and then we're right into this.
Yeah.
So, okay. Like, they know exactly what they're doing to keep your ass super fucking engaged. And the talk is that Miss Marvel is the next Marvel series coming. So they're giving you 2 Star Wars series in a row. Or excuse me, you just had a Star Wars series. They're giving you a Marvel series. They give you another Star Wars series. So Marvel coming right after it makes all the sense in the world. So that'll probably be like a month behind. So you're probably talking around June-ish, sometime like that. June, July. So, okay. Rock and roll, man. I love it. Droids look good. I don't know. Everybody looks cool. So I'm in there. I'm excited to see what the storyline is that gets Obi-Wan off of Tatooine for a bit. Like, that should be interesting. Because he's clearly in some sort of city. I don't know if it's Coruscant or wherever the fuck he is. But
to make him like Order 66 has been executed, like
don't go nowhere.
Right, like, don't go anywhere, and for some reason he decides to go somewhere. So look, I know Star Wars fans are probably listening to this and like, you guys aren't talking about this, and you aren't talking about that, and you aren't talking about this. Look, I just want to be entertained, guys. I just want to be entertained. Just let me be entertained.
Well, apparently, Vader is back in this, and like, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with. So I'm here for that.
Good. I'm glad for Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him, man. I really am.
Yeah, man. I want that dude to that's a cool ass role to get, man. And I want this dude to be able to kind of give it his all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think he's going to get a lot better writing. Like, a lot better writing. So,
yeah.
And what's actually kind of nice is that this series takes place in a place that none of the other ones have, right? This one takes place like directly after the prequels, right? In between, where the Mandalorian and all that takes place. Well, I guess that takes place after Return of the Jedi. So, like, it's happening. It's happening in a spot that like none of the other things are happening, which is kind of dope. So it has to live and die on its own thing. It doesn't have to rely on Mando showing up or anything like that. Like it's got to be its own thing, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Obi-Wan is definitely a big enough character to garner that. And then we've got like, I don't know when it's coming out, but I know they were taping it a long time ago, so it should probably be close to being done. Is Andor is also is coming out, and that would be sometime after Rogue One. So my guess is sometime. Actually, it could be around this time. So I don't know. Andor could show up in this. So I guess it all depends. So maybe that's the way they kick him into his own series, right? Like he shows up and helps Obi-Wan or whatever, and it's like, all right, remember that guy? Yeah, he's getting his own series too. Like, all right, cool, bet.
Yeah,
but it'll depend on wherever they put him. I have no idea. All right. Any other
Obi-Wan is like, I don't know how they're gonna get to him being Alec Guinness's age.
It's gonna be a rough 6 episodes, dude.
Yeah, buddy. Alec Guinness is he was an old man, guys.
Yeah. I just imagine the end of this is like, and now I'm gonna go and sit in a time machine and age myself 40 years. Good day.
I'm gonna use this new force power that ages me but strengthens me.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, every time I use this particular thing, I age 7 years, and he fucking has to do it at the end. It's like, all right, well, there you go. That makes a lot of sense. Like, now we get why he's so fucking old. Fucking hilarious. Any parting words before we get out of here?
Nope. Yeah, no. Be good to each other, I guess. I'll try to start ending these things on a positive note. Stop being assholes on the internet.
All right, that's it for us. Bully your friends.